to move down from Michigan to Florida. Didn't have time to get any kind of more guests in. Also, fortunately, I was supposed to have a show on Sunday, but it did not work out. So today we got a special guest here. Um, and let him introduce himself.
Everyone, what's going on?
You can introduce your name too.
I'm Nitrous.
And that's Nitrous, really charming person. And we're gonna kind of the main question we're gonna be talking about today is problems with our Rainbow Six Siege, R6 ranked problems, kind of with ranked being in the game being a big issue. Just kind of really talk about the topic and how could it be improved. You know, what has annoyed a lot of the, me and you, as a whole, we both have, I guess, played a lot of ranked, and it's nice, kind of to just give some more opinions. I think we're gonna probably have I think we're gonna have a decent amount of opinions, but while that's happening, I'm gonna be playing some casual, just for the hell of it. And so, first topic I want to talk about is, I was gonna say, how did you get into Rainbow Six Siege? Like,
I started playing it at a friend's house, and a few seasons after I bought it, and I, started enjoying it a bit more, while having to own the game, right? So I got to play with more people, you know, stuff like that.
nice. And what actually got you really like what big thing got you really fascinated into the game? Like, what feature?
I would have to
Like,
say the one-shot headshot mechanic. I think that sold the idea of playing Siege for that, and how you only live once in a round, and not like twice or whatever, like other games like COD and whatnot. That's my opinion.
yeah, that's I think the S kind of like the COD S&D feeling a little bit. Just kind of you have more. Oh, yeah, more. You have to really. It's like it's a team game. That's kind of what got me interested. Like a little bit interested. The reason I did not know much about Rainbow. I don't think I knew. I got this game like 2016. I think maybe 2017. Um, like November 2017. I got the game because I said, oh, it looks like it's $20. I heard of the game before. I kind of want to play it for once, and I didn't watch that much gameplay. I really legitimately did not know much about the game, and then I just got fascinated because just it was on sale for Thanksgiving, which was super nice, and kind of that's what happened. It's kind of a little bit different story. It's not like I had backdrop gameplay, I didn't previous experiences with it, but it's nice.
Fair.
I think it's also kind of like one other thing I liked was just the team. I don't know, just a tactical play, like Call of Duty. I wouldn't consider it a tactical shoot anymore, but it's just kind of like shooting games are my forte. Plus, I was not really a big fan of World War II. So yeah, at that time, so it was nice to kind of get back in the game. Then I kind of forgot about it. I had like a broken controller, so I couldn't lean, and I didn't really play that much. And I got really interested in the game in 2018. That's kind of I kind of got really into it a little bit more, just because of shitty ass games. So now let's a little bit short first topic, but I guess it was going to be that short. Let's kind of go into the main topic here today. The problems with Rainbow Six Siege rank. This has been a interesting forte game because there has been a lot of complaints in the long run. As every season comes out, there's more and more complaints. A lot more annoyances. So kind of Nitrous kind of lists like a couple of like all of your complaints that you kind of have with the game right now. As
Um,
I guess.
I would have to say DDoSing, you know, like it's pretty much committing a crime over a game. Like I think that's like very I don't know how to put that, but that's not something that should be a thing right now, and I think that they should definitely fix that, both Microsoft and Ubisoft. Boosting is another thing, like a high rank playing with a lower rank. They are actually fixing that next season, I'm pretty sure. Thank God. Um, what else? Some operators are quite overpowered in ranked.
You have less.
So,
Yeah, you probably think of a couple of them, like because of Echo and Clash being in the mix. Always seen them in the ban phases. Just
Echo, Cav,
always.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't call Cav an annoyance. People just hate Cav because
People
she's
just
annoying, but
yeah.
you.
People do ban her a lot. That's like where I get my preferences from, or whatever.
Yeah, it's the boosting issue. I don't really actually. I've been seeing it a little bit more this season. It's not that prevalent. But again, it's annoying. You see those posts, getting carried to copper, and then you have a diamond. And it's just you don't. He knows why it's one dominant guy who's a diamond. And you like, why is he here? He should be at that level. I think, kind of. How I think boosting topics different. I never really thought about it. How would you kind of try to fix that?
I would have to say, like, if you're, say, you know, what you said, diamond, you should be able to play with, like, all the plats. Like, hey, diamond with a plat 3, like, yeah, as a plat 3, you're probably good enough. But, like, any less, well, that seems a bit unfair to the other players. Say, probably they might be as gold and not as good. So, I don't think that should be as fair.
I think you talk about it. Whatever the highest ranked is in the lobby. Now if this might be an interesting kind of. I don't know how this was gonna work. You kind of just say you have 2 diamonds in your lobby, and then you have coppers. If there's a gap between 2 like divisions, like just say there's diamonds playing with silvers, at least 1 silver in that lobby. The silver is forced to match up with the diamond player. So it gives them, I think that will, I don't know, it might be interesting because you can diamond, the silver player doesn't get any improvements. But it just doesn't, it gives a big disadvantage. Just because first thing, the diamonds have to verse up against diamonds, and silvers, they don't have the talent skill for playing with, just like these high tier players.
Which is true, yeah. I totally agree with that. And if they could do a cap on whatever rank you are, to be like just slightly lower even, would be great. And there'd be less boosted people on the leaderboards right now.
Yeah, they don't have a leaderboard option on. Well, you gotta go R6 tracker for that. What's the DDoSing thing that has been... Haven't had that I think it was... What was it? I think Grim Sky? I think it was more prevalent in Grim Sky and then When Bastion a little bit. I haven't seen it this much this season. Like with like DDoSing. Has it kind of more common legacy? Have you been like close to like diamond ranks? Are they like more prevalent in the higher areas?
Yes. From my knowledge, yes. Diamond is very common, like every other game. So if you're like up like 2-0, they're probably gonna like DDoS the server or crash it. This is just like, say, like 15 minutes is gone, and, you know, like all that hard work.
Yeah, and you just kind of lose the rank a little bit more. You got, and let's kind of add on to your topic with the complaints. Anything like this with the free mention, you got kind of any more hefty, big complaints with the game?
Sometimes headshots don't work, but I know that's normal. I've been playing for a while. It seems to be always the thing. Not sure why the case is.
again, it's and at proms the game is known for that circumstance. I don't know if it's really gonna kind of fix a little bit more as time goes on. I'm guessing not. I think
I
it's
would
just
hope.
internet connectivity, and especially
Sure.
big prevalence is if you have a monitor and all that. It's a big advantage for you because he's just gonna register a lot faster. Overall. So, sucks. That kind of doesn't really get fixed. I don't know. I don't think they ever work on internet connectivity issues a lot with the game, but it happens. Any kind of continue on the topic? Anything?
I
Like,
wouldn't say. Maybe like how Mati can like ADS very fast. Seems unfair.
well, it's a quick draw perk. It's kind of what. Wait, what character? Operator?
Tang.
That's.
As a,
I think it's.
I think it
That's
seems
why you
fair
always see him in
because
the
no,
bank.
I don't think it seems fair because as a a shield operator, I think you're supposed to sit in like the corner and tell your teammates where they are, not like go in there and frag. That's my thoughts, but I think that's the way it should be. Like just sit in the corner and tell your teammates where they are as a support player.
That doesn't. Yeah, I think you're kind of right. Like, Montang has. Problem is. Montang has been kind of a really heavy band operator in the rank scene. You don't see it that much in, like, you know, the Pro League scene, which we're going to get into later. What kind of what needs to be fixed. But, kind of. It's hard to fix shield operators, they just nerf all the shield operators. Well, the operators have shields. Now you have to, it's not you run a gun and you just start with a knifing spree anymore. You have to knock them down twice, which could help some, if there's a teammate right behind him, give him advantage if you shoot him in the back. I just don't really, sometimes the shield operators can be annoying and you talk about just the big advantage you can have with a shield. It doesn't really. I think the general public just doesn't really understand. Shield is the shield gets deadly when it pulls out a gun. It's not deadly when it's because it matters on gunpowder. It's not like I think, for example, in Black Ops 4, there's a character named Ajax who has a shield that shoots a pistol out of it. That's not right. But Jerks. Once you have the shield fully exposed, all you need to do is aim to the head. That's basically all you need to do, and I think people really doubt that shields are good. It's annoying. I think, Blitz has been very, very questionable. With its impact on the game, but it's just something that doesn't make sense, and, kind of finding a big tune of fix with the operator could be I don't want to say detrimental, but it could be game break. Just I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna fit the flow, but it should work to instance. But again, they have been nerfing shields and shield operators all the time, trying to make a fine balance with how it plays with the meta. And that's a headshot. But it's just I don't know. It's a hard topic to talk about. Many broken operators. I think Clash has been a questionable operator too. Does it really fit the meta of the game at that current time when Grim Sky released? And I think one thing is developers, they haven't really fixed that. Like, try to see what does the public want, how does it fit the current meta. I know metas are going to change, but with a new you know, the meta should change when there's a new operator. It's not whenever a new operator comes out, not before the operator comes out.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
I don't know. Well,
It seemed like most of the original ones were like more or less they're usually always needed. The newer ones seem like they're more situational than the older ones.
And I feel like that could be another problem is they don't. I think Ubisoft doesn't like they. They put a lot of focus on ranked. I think that's the thing, but they do too much, where it gets annoying. It doesn't flow for everybody, and you know it's just that's why it's been inconsistent. You know, you got some of these operators that are game breaking. You know, the pick and ban phase. We can talk about them maybe in a couple minutes. How that could be kind of, I guess, reworked a little. I don't know how we can rework that. But you know, the pick and ban phase, that should just kind of plain impacts of those shields and all these operators. You don't get to see a variety because you don't see Echo. And all these game breaking operators, that's the problem. They never refix it. They don't fix the problems with it that people have been complaining. They do minimal impact. Like they just update Echo, where it takes longer for when the sonic booms come out. It takes 7 to 10 seconds. That is not a nerf. I know it's a nerf in, you know, maybe in one case, but it's not a death-defining nerf. People are still gonna ban Echo, whatever the chance is. And that's kind of the sad part. They don't. What do you kind of think about the? How much do you think the community has an impact on the game? Like, if for like how Ubisoft Montreal handles the game.
I would have to say very little, to be honest. I don't think they've listened like that much, but I know they are listening. They do care, but they don't really like show it. They don't really, I don't know. They don't really like actually like put in stuff that people want. But I know that they are listening and that they care to a certain extent.
Yeah, but it's just kind of how long has it been taking? Like people complain about glitches and all. It's just that slow impact.
It does take a while.
Yeah.
Yes, like every single time there's a new glitch, it takes at least 2 weeks for them to fix, which is like unacceptable in my opinion.
And that kind of goes like it just ruins the meta for ranked because
now instead of banning Thermite, while we're defending, we gotta ban IQ because there's a new IQ glitch. You know, like that kind of thing, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think that's the problem because these glitches affect a lot. Oh, that's a good cam. Affect a lot of the ranked community. Just, do you want to play this game that is heavily broken at the current moment? Especially the IQ one. Because like people done it, even the one in the past with the shield glitch where you can shoot from the shield from with Clash and all that. That angered a lot of community. And that doesn't help if you don't update that quick because it's just gonna decrease the numbers of the game and the player amounts, and that has been an issue. I think improving that a lot more. Just with the quick patches. I wouldn't care if you have to update the game, you know? People don't. It's nice to have update, but I think also one thing is you never test any of operators if they're broken or not. Before they get updated. Like before the update happens, like just make sure something doesn't happen. But again, people find it, and you know developers don't take time to find it. Anything else kind of add on to more of the complaints before we talk about the big like what things we could fix?
I would have to say with like the ACOG removals, they should have at least like tried to nerf the gun or the actual operator in speed or whatever before touching the optics, because I think that's just a lazy way of nerfing an operator. You know, Ash, Bandit, Jaeger, Smoke, well, Sludge too, in my opinion, which is
True.
a fair statement.
The Ash one, I didn't like the Ash one. I think it didn't. I know she has maybe one of the best ARs, but you forget about Twitch's F2, which has been hyped. There's a lot more ARs that have been more dominant R4C, and it didn't make sense at the time. It stopped a lot of people from playing Ash. Then it stopped. I think people wanted a speed rush because they don't have the ACOG on Ash, and how important that was. How important that was to her, just how fast she can go. Again, there's other free speed operators, but just Ash has just got two things to do: blow up two walls, and boom, you're going in there. And again, you're right. You should not get rid of a site. It was it back in the Jaeger's R4 Jaeger's 416 carbine that used to have ACOG. And his gun is still OP, but why would you get rid of a sight?
And it's still OP, and he still
again,
has a high pick rate and win rate, which is I don't know. It just seems like I don't know how to put that, but like it's the same thing as with Ash as what was Jaeger, but it's just a defender. And they both have the same gun pretty much, but except Jaeger's is like a bit slower. But they're so both overpowered to a certain extent.
Oh man, well, you're right. How long would it take to really fix, like, I just don't think a gun fix. Well, a gun fix will work better than a sight fix, because what can be bad about a sight? Like, what about a sight can alter the game? I wouldn't think that. It's just the weapons, because the sight does nothing. It just helps you see stuff. A sight update doesn't really do anything to the game, and that's kind of disappointing that because you don't get to see these. Like I think you defenders retrospect is a lot more possible to have that nerf, like without having a sight, but again, it doesn't. Your gun still shits on people. That's all that matters. Yeah, just to know. So that's a good thing to talk about. Just killed Jaeger. Also, what kind of complaints do you have?
One friendly operator remaining.
As we keep kind of like with any ranked, kind of more ranked based stuff, not like overall game stuff.
Right.
Overall
ranked.
What kind? Yeah, whatever. Overall ranked, like how, like stuff, items that aren't ranked, just like like anything that can be game break, like could be fixable with the game, but just they're too lazy to do it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Complaints.
Other than everything I said, I don't really have a problem with anything else. Well, my opinion. I don't find anything else annoying.
True. So I'm gonna get into a topic about how we can kind of improve ranked a little bit. I think the first thing you need to do, I think one thing that could be interesting to put in, that is, kind of a big topic, make it like the Pro League. And people might not like that. I think people don't how much of the general public do you know? There's probably a million people who have this game playing right now. How many of them watch Pro League? They don't probably understand a lot of it. They just play ranked to play ranked. And I think with all these new DLCs, yeah, you get fresh batch operators, but you also get maps that people don't want to play. It doesn't fit the meta. Like, I don't want to play Hereford 20 times. So, you know, what would you kind of like? My opinion will be, whatever maps you have in the Pro League right now, just have it. That's the only maps you play. You play some maps. What do you kind of like? Do you think if you have that change with having only Pro League maps, do you think it'll make a big difference to the game? Like, people will not get annoyed easily?
I think it will definitely make a great difference. People will definitely be like more keen on playing the game or playing ranked because of they getting only good maps now. Of course, it is like not an opinion. Like, people may like Hereford and whatnot. The majority community don't. Most of the pros do not like it. So.
Plus, it also kind of gets people, again, with all these new maps, it takes too long for the public to recognize, just kind of get the flow of things. Like, I think bringing Cafe back, that was an interesting move. I think Oregon was an interesting map to release, like, remove, which I was fascinated that was removed. I thought it would, you know, they would keep it in, like, just keep it in, and automatically they put Cafe Dostoyevsky back in the mix after it got reworked. Well, do you actually want, like, if you think, how would you rework Oregon to have it back to like Pro League capability? Or do you think they just made a mistake on the esports end?
I personally like the map. I usually do good when I play the map. I like it. Although Kitchen is a very bad site, and Tower isn't that good either. So if they could just focus on those two sites and leave the rest, I would be happy with that.
Yeah,
maybe
especially
extending the rooms, possibly, would definitely be a good move.
I think it was also a big I don't know, another map that had a big complaint with that was excuse me, Consulate back in, well, Consulate, when they only had 3 bomb sites, they didn't get like a 4th one, although the 4th one never gets used. Another map, again, yeah, Oregon, there's like 2 bomb sites you can really use. That works because I think, you know, Kitchen is just too odd to defend. You look at one way the whole time. It's just not a lot, you know. It's very close to edge. It doesn't not a lot of ways, and you know, people enter the same way. There's no flexibility with it, you know.
Not very
With the other 2
holdable.
bomb
Once
sites.
they get the one wall,
Yeah.
they could go and plant. Pretty much.
Yeah, but it's just no like variety with it. I think
No, I agree.
you can also, we think also a couple more bomb sites. Let's give you an example. Like, I think have more two-way options. Like, you talk about Bank. I think Bank is one of the most prominent ones with that feature. With lockers in CC, people only attack CC. People only attack CC, which doesn't, you know, doesn't give variety. Why don't you want to do a lockers attack? That doesn't happen that much. It doesn't even happen that much in regular ranked. You know, imagine that actually happened. And I think, you know, having reworked that. Yeah, Oregon. I think what you meant there, I never really kind of thought about it. Just the bomb sites haven't been so not top notch. Like, just you only have 2 sites. You don't have a lot of variety with it. And I think the same. I was kind of thinking maybe that's why they got Cafe back because they didn't really have a lot of acceptable bomb sites. A lot of people were not fond of. Well, a lot of people were not fond of defending the third floor a lot of times. I think same thing as like kitchen. Kitchen was a little bit broken. With bakery because a lot of times people attack really bakery real quick. You got the bomb down a bakery, you automatically won the site. You automatically won that site. So it was not really heavily favored. And that was kind of interesting point on just Oregon that could. I think you can replace a lot of maps. I think border could. I think those two. I think you need to have like a free story map. I think if you have a free floor map, it fits perfectly. Those 2 floor maps don't really work good for ranked. I think border. I don't know, a lot of times when you has been argued a lot about pros, how would because it's just so stale. How could you you're talking? How could you prove border in a case?
Border, say, like upstairs, everyone pushes the armory wall or the archives wall. It's not really like run in because they're most likely going to have someone at half wall holding an angle. You could buck below, but usually someone roams below for that case to kill the buck. And same thing with vents. Everyone pushes upstairs for the most part, or try to kill the people upstairs, or they push past them.
It's just kind of repeated. Just you either enter for armor or you lose. Like it doesn't work. Like you have to have vertical play, which is kind of because it was one of the first integrated maps to have like really deep vertical play into the mix. Like you have to have vertical. Oops, sorry. You really have to have vertical play. And that's kind of have been proven. Maybe that's kind of why they got rid of the people are complaining about it because it's just like you can only attack army by 2 ways. Basically 2 inches. It's not like, well, maybe 3 if you want to go down that hallway. But again, that Denver gets questioned by there's just bathroom and tellers that doesn't make sense of a bomb site. It's too small. Customs is customs and secure. Well, I don't know, storage. I think that's the name.
Yeah, I think so.
Checkpoint.
That one's not too.
Yeah, that. Oh, you continue.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. But I don't know. It's like another one of those maps where you gotta win like the first 2, so then it's okay if you lose the other one. Pretty much.
I think that needs to get. I think that one needs to get reworked a little bit because sometimes it's a little easy to enter from the storage bomb site because you just have to jump a window, and no one watches that, boom, easy.
But then your locks, your capital, whatnot, you can just get a plant down and run out the window again, and have someone watch the double door right there. Oh, I got a lot to say about this map back in the day. This is an oldie.
Yep. Kind of going back on the map things, I think. Just sometimes it doesn't. I think if you're gonna test a map, you don't automatically. You do at least 6 months before you can set and you do a vote with the public. I think one thing I kind of could be interesting how it could work. Just have them, how do you do quarantine for rank? They, for maps and all that. They should, if you're gonna, any maps that get reworked or added to the game, they don't exist. They only exist in casual. So they only exist in casual, and they don't get played for 6 months. People test out the maps. Maybe they do like a month where they just do like somewhat. You can just how do you have that, people can try out the map for like a week or something like that. Kind of do something like that, stuff for like a month, and just have like maybe after every couple match, like just have like a complaint forum. Like what are people like want to complain about with this specific map?
I could agree on that. Yeah.
Just have like opinions because I releasing the map, like getting Hereford when that guy released, people are gonna know. Oh my god, I really have to play this map. Oh sorry, but people really don't want to play the map. Like people want to test on map. It rushes them. Like it rushes them in the scene. Like people don't, you know, let people get used to the map Outback before you start playing at a ranked city where it gets more serious because a lot of the time those maps just affect so much of the rank. Like people don't want to play Theme Park. No one wants to play Fortress, Hereford. You know, a skyscraper. Not a lot of people want to play those maps, and it just feels punishable to the public that you know, they wish they can have the map card. They wish it they had community opinion. Like they didn't list. I think.
True.
Do you think like what would be the best thing if they wanted? Like what would be the best option? Like what would the public do if they wanted something like fixed? Like how would you want that achieved? Like just with a map.
Um. So like an individual map or like a variety? Like personally, I don't think there is enough maps because people have to worry about not getting like a bad map. That's the thing.
And it just sometimes affects the performance.
True. Yeah.
I think you just kind of have a like maybe like I think survey one thing Rainbow Six doesn't have is they you know they do like you know Call of Duty they do sometimes do feedback like after a couple matches they say oh how did you enjoy your match and you know that's thing like if they get more like community driven like they don't you know with especially with the updates to Glass a lot of times you know I don't know why you want to if Glass has been an issue with his capabilities of his smoke ability, you know, with his I don't think it's his gun, but
yeah,
you know, with his ability with smoke like how would you want to improve that? Like does it fit the meta? Is it a big issue? If it's not a big issue, you don't fix it. Like if it's like people know it's OP, yeah, you do fix it. But I don't think you just fix it on the little like things that people really don't notice. Like people are not gonna like it's Glass. They know what it's a general just an operator. But again, when people wanted something to like, yeah, I think to be honest, it'll be interesting if they actually have a opinion like every year. Like just say every year, like you know, every December. They have the choice of they have an opinion. What operator do you want to fix?
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody votes on like just say it pops up on the main menu. You're forced to do well. You're somewhat forced to do this.
I think they back to before like about like them listening. I think that they are somewhat like once again as everyone hated Tower, and they did remove that from ranked. So you know, maybe if people keep on at like say, oh, I hate Hereford, maybe they will remove it. Or what's another one these days? Say Outback, maybe. You know, something like that maybe would be cool.
Or they can, well, yeah, that's kind of, or just like have the opinion. Okay, people don't want to fix, like people don't want to rework that. Just if you just do like every season. What map do you want to have reworked or removed for a certain amount of time? Problem is, I don't know. Again, they're working on a Theme Park remake. Soon. I think it might actually happen next season.
I think it's
but
no season after. Next season is Canal.
Oh yeah, So they're gonna be
keep
working
forgetting
now,
about that.
which
But yeah, I know. I agree with you on
so
that.
they're gonna bring that. You know, they're gonna bring that back into pro. Like they should not. Sorry, ranked. They should not do that. I don't think they do that too early.
You must protect your bomb.
Take a month or two, maybe, like get people used to it. Let me like, you know, I usually do scrims and everything on the new maps, you know, so I can get used to it, try it out, you know, without going in the ranked or casual, because like casual, you know, people do dumb stuff, but then I can get used to it, you know, learn maybe a strat or two.
Yeah, just learn how people learn the maps, or
Yeah.
just again.
Make my way around.
What's another complaint that I kind of really have is kind of really don't know map to say a good point on like just have like have people test it, do scrims and all that. On it. One other thing I kind of wanna, I think also fixing the elo system that has been a really heavy complaint for me for a while. I think it's just kind of annoying where I'll give you an example. Black Ops 4 League play, I played a lot. You get the same amount, you lose a lot more, you know, elo, just say that elo, but you gain the same amount every time. You gain 61, you lose the same amount, you lose that same amount. Well, you actually, sorry, you lose a certain amount, but when you win, you get double that lost amount. The problem with this system is, first thing, it just helps. You have to get the plat free quick. You have to get the plat quick if you're gonna like once you get those placement games, because after that you're not getting 50 elo every game anymore, and then you keep playing a lot more during the season. You lose a lot more elo, and then you know even that you're gonna lose less elo over time. You know, you're not gonna lose
Right.
like 90, 100 elo per game at the start of the season, which was kind of annoying at the start. But you know, you win a couple games, you basically gain a lot more. Problem is,
True.
they have the system where, as you go further and further into the season, you only gain like 20 elo. You're playing
Yeah.
the toughest enemy.
You're
like-
playing like, say, next to pros, say on Xbox, and you're only getting like 20 for beating them, while you're losing 50. Well, maybe around, roughly. That's how much I lose at least. But yeah, I totally agree.
Like you're losing too much for what you're playing. Like I think if you're gonna, I think you're just like, I think this is my interesting way. Everybody gets like have that set number, and then add a little bit like, just say okay. If you win the game, you get 40 elo. You get 40. Just say you get 40, and then you lose maybe 20, 30. That's fine. But don't want to go in like just have that consistent level. You know, you probably want that 80. Maybe at the start of the season you do the same system. You start at a higher number. You win, you get like, you lose 90. You win, you get like 50 or 60 or whatever number you get. Have that stay there. But then, you know, once you get into that limit where, you know, you play a certain amount of games, like you play 30 games, you finish your progression matches, and you play at least 10 games in the start, like after you got placed. Once that happens, you're done.
Yeah,
you
and I totally agree.
basically-
Yeah, you start losing like a lot, fast. That's the thing.
and you don't get that much back. So, if you just have that set number, and then you lose, it's just the same number. And I think one thing you can also do is reward people for playing tougher enemies. Like, just say, even, you know, the boosting thing you mentioned earlier, it can get annoying because you burst in time. But just say you verse a gold, you're gold, and you manage to win the game against 5 diamonds, you get a bonus set amount of elo. Like, you get maybe 20 more elo than usual. So you get, 60 elo per game instead of 40, because you versus tough enemies. I don't think they give you that, today they don't give you that much reward just versus tough enemies, and that's kind of piss people off because they feel like they're getting better, but they're just, by their rank, they don't feel like they're getting better. And I think, what do you kind of think about that opinion? Just kind of tougher, like, you get tougher enemies, you get more elo. You think it will kind of break the system a little more? Or is it like...
I think that, like, we're boosting, like, since it's getting fixed, I hope. We're gonna have to see how that part plays out, but I do think that you should get rewarded to a certain extent, even if it's only, like, say, an alpha pack or, like, a better renown, something, at least, maybe.
Or, like, just have, like, more of a reward, like, I don't know, I think the elo thing makes sense. I don't think people really care about alpha packs or renown that much. Anymore. I think, again, that, like, reward if you verse tougher enemies, like, you get, like, 4 in elo per game. Oh, sorry, 4 in renown per game. That's how it usually, works. But,
maybe even increase it, like, increase the elo or something. So it's easier for people, but so they won't have to boost anymore. That's really why people do
that's
it.
kind of, yeah, it's just kind of what I said, just kind of increase the amount of, just keep a high, like a decently high, like, not too high, but not too low elo amounts, and, probably reduce the amount of boosting, just because, you do get the respected amount. You're not stuck at, you don't have to play, like, 20 games just to rank up. Maybe you got to play, like, 5, like double the amount of games just to be able to move on to the progression scale. It doesn't happen. That's the thing. It's just kind of fortunate that they made the elo system so low, and especially just gets harder for the diamond stages. Although you're in a 10 win streak, you haven't gained squad. Although you get 20 elo per game, and you verse like the toughest enemies on the goddamn planet, and you're stuck at plateau still because they didn't reward you enough elo. So that'll be interesting. One also, what do you kind of think when you heard about the pick ban phase coming into ranked this season? What did you kind of think about it?
I was very excited that I could ban shield ops and not play against a blitz who is rushing at you at like 80 miles an hour. I think that was a good time. I think that was a very good change, and they should keep stuff up like that. Personally.
Do you think it was gonna be a 6-pack?
I thought they would have went all the way. Yes, I think they would have. I wouldn't mind personally, but I like it the way it is. I think it's fine.
I think 6-packs might be like a little bit too much
for some people, considering like new players may not know what to do.
I don't know. I feel like a 6-pack will work if it started really early in the game. Like, I think if it did it like in year 1 or year 2 with all the... But it's like people run the same operators over and over again in ranked that it's just... There was like absolutely no point in having that 6-pack, and you gotta do that every round.
Yeah, sure.
It's, people are gonna bring the same operators. You're always gonna see a Thatcher or a Thermite. So there's no 6-pack. Well, unless it gets banned, but it's just 6-pack is kind of not it. It puts in the pro league because people want to know. Oh, let me change it up. Let me see what they're running. Maybe I gotta change operator up to counter this. That works perfectly. But I don't know, this game you can, especially with there's some strategy in ranked. But I think there's a lot less.
I agree.
Like, than the pro league. I think one thing I kind of want, like, I think one other thing I kind of want to have fixed, and this is gonna revert back to old ways. I honestly I was interested in the idea of having the free round rotations with you start 3 rounds in defense and 3 rounds in offense. I was fascinated by that. And then I just kind of noticed an issue.
I think there is an issue as well. Like, if one team is very strong at attacking on a certain map, like, they're probably gonna get the 4-0, and I'm sure 4-0s are very common now, but that's the thing. And it's easier to win.
Yeah, it's just kind of where I was fascinated by it. Finally I get to play I finally get more opportunities to play as a defensive operator. But just say you want to play a defense operator more times, and you want to improve your defense. Yeah, now you get like 3 guaranteed rounds of that. Maybe sometimes you get like a 4-hour sweep and you have less opportunities, like 1 less opportunity, but that doesn't make a difference. But just kind of knowing at this stage, it can really trigger the public. Just knowing that if you have a shitty ass team, there's no way you can trust the defense or attack. And that screws up a lot of people. So I think reverting back to the old ways is kind of the really great idea. I think in this kind of stage, but I want to see it happen. That's kind of thing with, maybe fix it up where you do it every 2 rounds. Do you think it'll work better? Like have it.
I think that would.
I think that would
be more
3
fair,
rounds?
personally.
Well,
4 hours would be. Yeah, you gotta go to 4. So like 3 is a very good head start. Yeah, 3 is a very good head start. So if you get like the next round, you're probably gonna win. You get those picks off early. You make it say a 5v2, 5v3. You could probably win the game.
True, on that one. Also, kind of with talking about fixing stuff, let's kind of talk about some of the operators. What operators going to change? The new ones. We don't know what the new one's going to come out. Maybe I think it's going to be released on Sunday. When they're going to announce the new season, like all the stuff happening in the new season. What operator do you think? What operators do you think needs to get fixed, and how would you try to fix it?
Ooh, Monty. I have a serious problem with Monty. He can just trap you in the corner while they're just planting, and you can't like do anything if you don't have the C4 or say like a shotgun. Play close with them. You could it should reduce the or increase the time, or no, decrease the time. Increase the time, right? It takes to ADS. That would fix a lot of issues with me and Monty. Maybe then people will actually start playing him the way he should.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that earlier. I think one operator I gotta look at the list of operators. I've been doing that. Actually, one operator, everybody's gonna want Blitz. I think Blitz does need a big kind of nerf. I think one thing, well, actually, I think you just make I don't know, you make him a 1 speed and 3 armor. Do you think that will
Revert him back.
a little bit?
I do agree. People wouldn't be as
So,
cocky, I guess, with him. It seems.
Ouch. So wait, what's the reverted back?
He used to be 1 speed.
We need to locate a bomb.
Yeah, I think it just kind of stops. Again, it wouldn't make its difference if you have him 3-speed 1 arm because he's gonna have a shield. But yeah, this kind of making him a little bit slower. Kind of be used as a last second, you know. Have him as a late
support operator.
Yeah, just kind of more not like an annoyance, just like, oh, I'm gonna support the team getting the plant down by just rushing you. No, I'm just gonna use it at a strategical time. Let me do it at this instance, and we get this like, I'll flash this guy right here. You know, he's flash. If I die from it, you can go baited. Like it should be a tradable character, like a character that's able to trade out. Not should be this character just rushes in, gets the knife, and you can't do anything about it. I think.
Right.
I think Warden should. This might be an interesting take. Does Warden counter him?
Yes, he does. I've used it before. It feels so good when they just flash you and it just don't work, and then you punch their shield and you can kill them. It just feels the best, personally. I think Warden is in a good spot right now. How counters.
I know it hasn't been used that much. That's kind of shocking. I think Warden, at least I heard about the operator, was like, oh, it could be interesting. But I wouldn't think it would be used that much. As a whole, and that didn't happen, which was unfortunate. But you know, Warden could get. I think giving them a better weapon. First, I think one thing about the last Phantom Sight operators, they didn't really have top tier weapons. MPX, it's just not a damage hitter. And even the character shown on the screen right now, Knock, they gave her FMG9. I think finding more purposes with the weapons, I think having a lot more better weapons will increase the pick rate of the character. You know, I think a lot of people, you know, people choose the weapons they have with the operators. They don't choose. A lot of times people don't choose the characters, like just because of their neediness. A lot of times they choose them because of weapons.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. I use some operators just for the weapons, like Vigil and Mozzie. I use them just for the weapons. I find them top tier. I find them great. No recoil. And Knock. See, I like the FMG, but it's I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan of it. I feel as if they did like recycle them, like reused the weapons from previous operators. Not really a fan of that, but I think that it's good on Warden. I do like the MPX myself. It's a headshot machine, at least for me.
I think it just feels like Knock needs like a little more upgrade on that. I think Ying. People have questioned her LMG, or well, I don't know, shotgun or kind of like AR LMG variant that could be need a buff. I think Candela's are. I'm shocked. I think one operator you don't see that much played in ranked was Ying. I thought she could be really important for really plants, but I think people had a problem with her weapon. People don't like her weapon that much, and it kind of caused a decreased amount in play. And I feel like, you know, you talk about it, it could be more important than Capitao. Keep more important than Capitao. I think Ying, you get flash, you don't know what direction you're looking. That's the thing, and you want to get like a plant down. You know, character has a C4 nitro.
Yeah.
You don't get.
I agree.
You know, it gets house. Capitao, you can just, you know, if they're gonna, you know what the plant spots are in your mind. Just say like Oregon, you plant on laundry room, you plant on top of that. The washer, you know, the washer.
So you can basically put your bolts in the hall, like on the hallway door. and on the rotate, and they can't do anything. They gotta either rotate back or just wait. So that just takes off a lot of time, which is nice.
It just sucks people kind of really don't think about that too much. Just kind of really with how the like a meta changes. I don't know how really the meta works. But that could be a big kind of, if you can improve the weapon a little bit. I think what kind of, I don't have Ying a lot. If what has kind of been the big complaint on Ying and why it's not been used that much. If you do use Ying or have Ying a lot.
I use Ying quite a bit in ranked. I do enjoy her. I usually use her as, let's say, a more passive upgrader. I'm not the one to rush usually, like personally, as a 2-speed at least. But I enjoy playing her, and say with a Monty usually. Got a friend who's good at Monty, so we usually push together. It usually works. And yeah.
But it's gotta be like, she has to be more of like a, yeah, she does play a support, like kind of a passive support role, but she can, I feel like, can be a lot more aggressive than she is already. But it just doesn't happen. Which kind of sucks a little bit, but it's whatever.
I agree.
I think you get the but it doesn't. I am shocked that it doesn't get used. I think the weapons do play a big factor. You know, people call like these operators really OP, and they're not. They're only OP when they have like, it's just the weapons. People don't really, you know, there's a lot of operators. I think Lion, you know, with the rework, was really considered OP. It wasn't even a good weapon. Finka, there's a lot of operators that Finka that sometimes gets used, but just because of the weapon use and how weak it is, that doesn't really get too picked up in the meta, like picked that much.
And sometimes it's like the type of weapon, like say assault rifle, shotgun, DMR, that kind of thing. Like say Ash, she has 2 assault rifles that are both very good. Dukebi has 2 well, a sniper and
She doesn't
well,
have an
pretty
assault
much.
rifle.
No, she doesn't. But to make it fair, well, in Ubisoft's mind, to make it fair, she has an SMG as a sidearm, or 2. So.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, true enough. Fact, we just kind of haven't, not even similar weapons, but in that case, just very unique perspectives on how they want to play, and it does fit. It's kind of the meta, but I feel like Alliance, like they should base it like, if you think about it, this might be an interesting way. I think you should get rid of switch a lot of weapons with different operators.
Yeah.
And this, I don't think this is ever, like, I feel like if you're gonna play support op, you gotta have a weapon that doesn't go far in range. Well, that goes far in range.
Yeah.
That has, you know, slower, it doesn't have slower fire rate, but can pack a distance, like can go really work with distance, and then you,
pretty much Thermite. His gun is a perfect example of Verlaut, in my opinion. It's very good.
And then Ash's GDR6, so it's a little more slower pace. AR, well, like, R4C works perfectly. It's a speed, but it should just based on like how much the speed the character is, and that's kind of one thing they haven't done. Like, I think Gridlock could be a good example of playing as a support, and she has a close quarter assault rifle. That doesn't make any sense. She's supposed to, well, actually it kind of does. Sledge too should have a, like, Sledge is only useful at, you have to knock down walls, unreinforced walls with the hammer. You should give him a close quarter assault rifle. You don't give him an LMG that packs distance. Capital. How do I get Capital's? Well, he has an AR right here. Yeah, that works perfectly, but they shouldn't give him LMG as a second option. I think, also given, it's good to give a variety of weapons, like 2 ARs for characters, but just sometimes one of them doesn't match up to like its role. Which I think with Ubisoft's plan, they try to have operators that fit, like, can work if you want to play passive or aggressive, and that's kind of what they kind of chose with the weapon choice a lot of times. Bandit is a good Bandit I'm running right now. It's a good option where you have a shotgun and SMG. Works perfectly. It's a close quarter guy.
And a good pistol as well, just in case you need to pull it out if you run out of ammo, right? It's also very good.
So yeah, so he works perfectly. But one character that's like, kind of let's see. Ella works good because she has that rushing, but wait a second, I'm doing something now. Ella just works perfectly because you just play that aggressive role. Capcan's an odd one. I'm just listing random operators. Capcan's a interesting one because he runs a SMG that is really good for long distance, but I think it's just more of a short-term SMG. It's not like you can pack a distance with that, but he's supposed to play like aggressive. I don't know. It's just kind of hard role to determine from him that he has a distance SMG, but he plays a long, like just like a long range gun. So just kind of reworking the weapons a little bit. Would work for the population, but again, I don't think it's gonna happen. Also, I think I don't know what's the complaint, but what do you kind of think about Jackal? He's been a heavy banned operator for a while. He's been banned a lot in ranked since the pick 6 pick and ban system came out. How would you kind of try to rework him?
I would definitely, I think personally the only reason why people ban him is how many scans he has. He scans 5 times, and I'm not sure how many he has
4.
in total.
Well, he has 4 now. They just nerfed them.
Oh, I don't know. I think they should reduce that again, personally.
So down to 3
like
or 2?
Yeah, probably 2.
Do you think it just...
And the number of times you can scan is another thing as well. Then people can be more strategic about it, rather than say, hey, I'm gonna scan you, even though the guy's roaming, I guess. If the guy's in sight, then he can stay in sight, and then you know he's there. You don't have to worry about him if you have all the doors covered. Or if it depends on the site, but yeah. I mean Jackal. I like playing Jackal. He has a good gun, a good role in ranked.
Yeah, I think one thing you can do is just have maybe keep the 4 scans, but it just lasts a lot shorter. I think you have it for 20 seconds each time. I think someone mentioned yesterday, I think on the rally, when they were streaming rally, that the footprints last 1 minute and 30 seconds before it wipes off. I don't know where I've heard this from, but
right.
I think people promise, even if you go really far away, that's how easy Jackal is, because your footprints last too long.
True.
They last 1 minute and 30 seconds. They last about basically, well, if you count the prep phase, maybe it can last. Maybe you do it you just reinforce your shit and you just go. Maybe if you don't get tracked after the first minute and 15 seconds, yeah, then you're good. Problem is it lasts but it doesn't work like that, because you're gonna be stuck in room reinforcer for about 10 seconds. You maybe playing operator that you have to pre-place stuff, and that doesn't work out, and that's kind of really costly. I think you limiting the footprint scan for about 45 seconds. People, I think with the meta today, people don't sit still. I think everybody, it's not strategic. It's not like you're playing diamonds. Everybody is kill hungry, and Jacko just kind of hawkers that is really OP because it's just easy kills, especially
Yeah.
with a team of 5.
I do agree with you on
And
that. I play Jackal. I enjoy playing Jackal. Like, that's basically why I play him. I can do my own thing. I can just push in, and my teammates don't have to worry about it.
well, that's something. Yeah, it's just. But then you get like, especially when someone else is close, he doesn't have to. It just converges and just traps the person. It doesn't give that real meta. It feels like it's just operator that just doesn't give you opportunity to flank. And that's just unfortunate. I think really annoying that it doesn't give you the ability to be an annoyance in the map. Especially when you got Vigil and Cav, just kind of being those top tier, especially how many roaming operators you have in defense. That's just a big hindrance. To any kind of other operators that you have in mind that could be needing a rework, just to kind of work.
Personally, I don't think so. Usually when the operators get banned, they get banned because, they're too strong. And the ones that aren't are left alone, I guess.
Echo?
Yeah, when you're planting, it is annoying having an echo there.
They just recently nerfed, again, I think I mentioned earlier in the stream, they recently nerfed them. It wasn't that big of a nerf. I think.
No. He's still
Especially, I think
powerful.
one thing that Echo was already OP from the start. I know he only had one drone, but people still try to use Echo. And then once they released the second drone on Echo, everybody got annoyed of it.
Yeah, and I agree
that
with you on
was
that.
very changing
Frustrating.
to where you don't move around the map anymore. He doesn't move. If you put him in a room, he doesn't get spotted for 3 minutes. He's basically an annoyance that you have to spend time finding, and it's just assaulting experience. I think it works because it's good plant denial when you have the opportunity. But any other kind of way, it doesn't really work. He just sits there and does nothing. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate with the scene. Kind of seen that in play.
Yeah.
I think last thing kind of want to feature about how you can like the pounds are ranked. Is just kind of one thing that had been introduced in a long time ago was the implementation of allowing mouse and keyboard players. They haven't looked really good. It's hard to decipher who is a mouse and keyboard. They have that little thing on the screen, but I don't know, people still don't understand it. And what do have you known anyone like who played on mouse and keyboard who plays Xbox? And second thing is, could they do some like, I don't know if Fortnite does this, where you have separation between mouse and keyboard players and controller players.
Okay, personally, first of all, it's not, you can't actually, like, if you plug the mouse and keyboard into your Xbox, you can't actually, like, it won't actually work. You have to use an adapter, either XIM, which is a brand or another type. So it will like think it's a controller when it's actually a mouse and keyboard. That's how it works. And I do have several friends who use it, unfortunately. Um, I don't think it should be a thing. Like, should use a PC. It should be on console. Like that's what a controller's for here. But and there's also another thing called the Cronus, which basically does the same thing.
For those.
Yeah, it's another problem,
So you think, like,
especially in higher rank.
if you're not known for a controller, they should just separate them. Or just like, do you think they should not allow that option and just have a separation?
See, that's the
Like,
thing. It is hard to detect the XIM because they have like anti-detection into the software, and then that's hard for Microsoft to detect. That's the problem. If they did detect it, then they could. I don't know, but if they did actually let people use MNK on console, I think that they should make a separation, as there is an advantage.
I don't know. I haven't really noticed people that too much. I don't know. I feel like they haven't done. I feel like, in my opinion, they haven't looked good. The players haven't looked that good with mouse and keyboard. I don't know. I see it popped on my site. I think every game we always see a mouse and keyboard player on ranked, but you can't tell. But I can't tell if it is or not. But again, it's just a very annoying experience where it's just, you feel like you should win that gunfight, but he just has magnificent aim and all that.
Yeah,
It's just
and no
unfortunate.
recoil, and I agree. Totally.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of get into the last topic here before we go end off the show. We always do an ending topic after we talked about the main one. Very
Sure.
interesting, kind of really talk perspectives on ranked. I thought it would be I was thinking it was gonna be a little bit more about it, but I think I kind of really hard to mention about the issues with online, and we kind of mentioned operators. It's kind of really hard to have opinion on operators. I think maybe a lot of operators need to fix, but I don't want to explain all of it. We kind of focus on the big ones and what's kind of breaking a sort of meta of a little more. I think the meta is kind of more aggression, which if you like not a lot, I think on ranked, on like just maybe a lot more aggressive play. Which I think one thing I also wanted to kind of annoys me a lot, and this could be a minor fix. I don't think this will ever happen. I think there should be a spawn peak. Like, spawn peaks are annoying, and they do exist, which is annoying. Kind of is part of the game. You have to watch out for windows, but I think you put a 5 second. You can't like. You can't kill the person in that 5 seconds. Like, let's say, okay, you start around 3 minutes. Once it gets to 2, let them run a little bit and try to get into cover. Like, they just say the person outside can't shoot the person inside.
Yeah. I do agree to a
Just
certain
say he's
extent.
peeking a window. But just, like, they can't shoot it, like, and then, I can't, so it just doesn't cause, like you're, oh, wow, I got spawn peek. I didn't do, how the frick am I supposed to be, be aware of that, I'm aware of it, but it's just unfair because he's just gonna be an annoying prick and do that. But, give like a 5, maybe a 10-second hiatus. You can't, okay, I don't want to explain the situation, it just happened right now. That just, you can't kill the person, like, just have him a chance to move, let him get a little bit closer, have him get into some cover, and then you make the play if you want to kill him or not. But I think it doesn't really get the surprise fact that I don't think it's ever gonna happen where they're gonna have like a halt on killing.
Mm-hmm.
Like as like a time, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, so last topic. Do you Have you watched the R6 Major rally today, or
Yeah. Yep.
you?
I have. I've watched a little bit.
So okay, so 4 teams that got eliminated already. I'm gonna list all of them. Nora Ringo, fan favorites, fan, um, Ninja Pajamas. This is the Nora Ringo got 4th at 6 Invitational. I'll give you hints of it. 6 Invitational. They got top 5th. They got eliminated quarterfinals at the Pro League Season 9 finals, and they just got eliminated 13-16 at the major. So that was, I think everybody liked him because of the coach, very entertaining guy. Especially, I don't know, super relaxed. But yeah, Ninja in Pajamas. Very, today very questionable org after the recent allegations with not paying the players and all that.
Yep.
They got eliminated. Although they had a close series with EG. They did not have the clutch potential that EG had. I think they lost the first map 8-7, and then they lost, I think, 8-6. I don't know. It was like it was a very close match both times.
Yeah.
And they
I'll
didn't
probably
win it.
watch that after on YouTube. I'm sure that they'll have replays. But yeah,
That was
I'm
a
sure
very
it was
close
a
one.
good
Next one was Cyclops, another Japanese team. Kind of a somewhat known Japanese organization. They do compete in the Japanese Pro League. This was also their 4th LAN experience, so they don't have a lot of LAN experience. A lot of people didn't replay the teams, and so they got smoked by G2. They didn't have the easy matchups. They had Rogue and G2. That is not what you kind of want to
That's not
start
easy
with.
at all.
And then
G2
even
has,
I think they
G2
had even
has
Secret on the
definitely the
pool.
top players in the world.
And then Fnatic, which got eliminated by FaZe today. They got eliminated by FaZe today. They didn't even win a map. They lost to Dark Zero yesterday. So out of okay, so those 4 teams got eliminated. With the 12 teams left, which team do you, if you know which team will win the tournament coming Sunday?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Personally, I do like all of the teams. I've watched many from them all. Or from most of them at least, I should say. I haven't watched all of the teams play yet, but G2 has killed it. They won the last one.
One invitational and I think they won the last 2 majors.
Yeah. Yep.
So you
They've
think
been
there's
killing
gonna be
it.
3P?
I think they will.
Interesting. I think it would go G2. But I think people are gonna. I think people today they're still gonna consider G2 a top team, even with their struggles in the Pro League. They're not in a great position. People are still gonna favor the G2.
They do have the
Because
top players. I'm not overly a fan of
They just haven't clicked
Fabian,
online.
but
They just haven't clicked online.
yeah.
But they just have the town. I'm gonna go with I want to go with Empire.
I do agree
But
on you though. Yeah, that would be my second
I
pick.
don't like
I like the Russian
a
players.
lot.
They're
Especially Forze. They have Forze. They have shocked us. They're gonna be competing in Challenger League next season. All Russian team. They had Shockwave, from the former Team Empire roster. I think one thing I'm gonna go. This is, I know EG, and I kind of want to go. Actually, I'm not gonna go with EG. I'm gonna go with just a full straight out
Located a bomb.
blowout.
5 seconds to go.
I'm gonna go with Space Station.
Space Station is definitely
Make your way to its location.
rather underrated.
It does. I feel like again. I don't. I think there's definitely an episode where I voted who was gonna win CWO or playoff finals where I didn't go for it. I just didn't go for the team that was gonna be clear favorite because that would be too boring. I kind of want to go for like give me my opinion like I'm not a top tier team. Like just a team I'll expect and maybe there's a chance. I think someone actually did get the right pick. That's a headshot. But I think Space Station. You saw they pretty good yesterday against Giants. Giants is a top 2 EU team. And they clean they cleaned house on them. They won 2-0, I think. Yeah, I think 2-0. So they beat the Giants, one of the top EU teams, and then they beat G2 2-0 today, and they beat them in convincingly fashion. They beat them, they destroyed them. As I think what they said. So I feel like Space Station they can beat some of the top teams, but it's just can they climb that obstacle of beating teams like Empire G2 again,
Yeah.
EG again? Like could that happen? Yes. It's just gonna matter if they can play like they did the last two the last 2 days, like the first 2 opponents, which those were top 2 teams. They play somewhat to us similar. They play that same role. They play consistently. Rampy, I think Rampy has a great performance. Just
Agreed.
consistently good. I think one player I kind of want to expect to kind of I think Bosco is a really good support player. Thinking they'd pretty. I think one player I want to see kind of improve. I think 2 of them is like Chow and Fultz. Fultz is kind of the new guy to the team, and
He is very nuts. Though I've seen his clips. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It's just can he not get pressured? I think when it comes to that stage, it's gonna like I know we played on minors, but that's not the same. How is he gonna do under that crowd? Especially a couple months ago, he was a Challenger League player. He was part of that our bad roster.
To be fair, that is the same thing with Merc. Merc was the Challenger League as well. Also came from Xbox, by the way.
Oh, nice. So we seeing these Challenger League, just first time big events. I know. Yep. Well, I think Merc is kind of more a special case. This is I think his first actual LAN.
This is his first season in Pro League.
Well,
Under
Fultz,
TSM.
I think Fultz is also. Yeah, Fultz. This is his first season in Pro League. Also, is fine. I know he's competed at LAN because I think they had Vegas. But it's kind of not the same environment. Well, actually, it's decently packed, but it's just different kind of. It's a lot more bigger. There's just more bright lights. You're gonna versus a tough team. How is he gonna be? Like, I feel like Rampy, he can perform. Thinking Bosco, even I think Chala. Well, Chala plays the support role. I'm gonna give him a slide on that, but I think False is gonna be a big X factor. If he just has a consistent performance, just say he does if he does more than what people like, if he just does not have shitty games.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a difference right there. So, I think you look at them, that's gonna be big. And I think G2 is yeah, no, I have people want to vote G2 Empire. I think Empire is an interesting pick.
Yep.
But I think we just we see I think people are gonna expect Empire in a final. if you know they don't match up in like in the quarters or semis. But now that happens. They don't match up. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be at that finals if they do match up. It's gonna be matter how much you can stop joystick and Dan. That is gonna be the big difference.
I personally am
if
a
that was
huge fanboy of Dan and joystick as well. Definitely a big fan of both of them. I do hope they win as well. Yeah, me too. Although I do like Pengu and Kanto on G2. Definitely top-notch players.
Yeah, that's a player you always player you always expect to kind of those players are expect to play good, and I think it matters on how much you can expose Empire. It just like I think TSM they won a map against Empire.
Yeah,
they
did.
didn't win map 2 or 3.
Nope, they lost.
They won the first
Space Station, I believe. I think they won one of them. I forget which
No, they
one
won
it
against
was.
Noraringo today.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so they won against Noraringo today, and then so if they Team Empire can be exposed on the map. Now you know they have a weak map. Now, I don't know what they played today. Maybe they play Cafe again, but I think people can find a way to expose them. Like, expose that team. It's just matters on how much homework they want to do and all that, and that's going to be kind of the hard part about it. But it's just matters on what you do with. A G2 is a very kind of fascinating pick.
Personally, I do like.
But I think one thing. Well, actually, I think one player I kind of wanna. Uno. What do you kind of think about Uno being that new addition? You know, especially with Jonas being on that shitty as Sisu roster. What do you think about like Uno? Do you think he's gonna be that impact player for them to win a championship?
Yes.
If they do match up against Empire Space Station. Well,
I've seen Empire.
if they match up against Empire Space Station.
I do see like his clips on YouTube. Very good player. Like, definitely nuts by all means. Honestly, I couldn't say who would win the major. Personally, I think they're all good players. Like, they're all good enough to be in Pro League, to be honest, because they're like, even a support player could be in Pro League. Obviously, as you've seen, like, there's support players on G2. Like, they're like, everyone's a fragger. Like, just because you're Pro League don't mean you're a fragger.
Yeah.
You don't have to be good. Like, well, they're all good. Better than
It's just
average. Yeah.
Managers just don't get scared of the big stage. Which I don't think Uno should be he has land experience, so I think again, interesting matchup. I think how it goes. We'll see what happens. I think G2's a good pick. Again, Space Station is just a wild card. I just want to go with them because I don't want to go with the favorites. I want to go with like something teams that don't expect next to anyone. So.
Personally, like TSM, if they won, I think that would be cool. That'd be their first season on, and a dub. That would be perfect. I'm a big fan of Bolo and Merc. The rest of the guys on the team are very good as well. Like Pokemon, I'm pretty sure he's been on a team before in Pro League.
Yeah, he was on SK. SK in the flip side roster. But he didn't. Yeah, I was shocked he's playing. It was supposed to be Crusher.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened to him.
Crusher and Achieved. Achieved is also on.
Achieved's on the. I don't know. I feel like one player on that team same roster you have to. I want to see improve a lot. Is I think Merc. Yeah, he's nasty. I think Merc when I watch like When I watched TSM today, I think they mentioned he had like 7 kills in like 3 rounds against Norengo on like Cafe. He was like going off. He was making highlight plays. I think Bolo, he's been improved, but one player I want to see is Biologic. Playing with that support role. I feel like he can do a little bit better.
Yeah, I've
But
never
again,
yeah, I've never heard of him, but I'm sure that he is a really good player considering he's in Pro League right now. I'm sure that he knows what
yeah.
he's doing. I believe they can probably win, possibly. I think that would be
But again,
nice.
just kind of that's I think they have land experience. They played at
Yep.
I think Valencia or I think Valencia.
And Merc
So
and
they
Bolo
play.
both definitely have ESL experience before. Like they're obviously a challenger, and before that, even Go Forward, Vanilla Cups, all that stuff. They've been winning, slamming them. They deserve to be in Pro League.
So I think one thing that I think if you're looking at TSM, if they're gonna make it like really far in the tournament, maybe a chance to have finals. It's I think people are gonna doubt them. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna doubt them too. But the thing that's gonna be a difference maker on that
10 seconds.
is if they can show up
Plan your defenses accordingly.
like
5 seconds.
show up against those big teams. Like Empire, they did on the first map. They didn't just slacked off. Like it's just kind of teamwork. They have Pojo Man is player and coach, which I don't know what the fuck Pojo's doing these days. Because he's like in and on and like I don't know what he's doing. But why am I getting shot? But again, it's just can he play that can he get the troops together? Can he teach people how to play? That's gonna be the big thing.
Yeah, I understand that, and I agree. I know that Pojo was good before. I've seen his clips as well. Another definitely a good player. Oh, and he left. Cool. But yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
It's just again teaching them. I think a lot of these younger teams they just need that kind of coach, like this kind of experience, which helps because there's just a lot more strats coming to play. But any one more thing we're gonna do. This is probably gonna be the last game we're gonna play before we lift off.
Right.
Lift
Yeah.
off to the moon, as space station says. What team do you think is gonna be a sleeper out of the 12 teams remaining? Has a chance at least top 4.
Ooh.
Like
Top
it just
four.
just people don't expect top 4 out of like or into the like I want like I'm gonna go like top 4 here. I don't want to go like we can go finals to maybe have a chance to make impressive impact to get like at least top 4. People are gonna expect G2,
Oh
Empire,
yeah, easily.
FaZe, Giants. What what team could shock and get a top 4 performance? I think Secret last year, at Paris,
I
at
do.
the Paris
Yeah.
Major.
To be honest, yeah, I think
But
that's secret. Yeah. People forget about
I know
them,
they
see,
lost
and
today.
I think they are a pretty good team. Solid. Know what they're
So you
doing. They
think
got
they're
the
top 4?
strats. Yeah. Definitely
They're only good in
a
land.
team that people are forgetting about. Like personally, I did too. Also
Again,
seen
they
their
had a tough battle
clips.
against G2 today.
Hmm.
They had a battle against G2 today. They lost. They got smoked. But again, they don't
Unfortunately,
get G2 in them.
G2 is
One
just on
team
another level. See, that's just not fair. See,
they're
they're
just
just
yeah, they just land. You don't want to mess with them.
Bomb's location
nope.
and defuse it.
One team we're gonna go for. Just kind of looking. Could we see Forze make it after they beat FaZe and Dark Zero? I want to go with Forze. I think just going with the Chakra story, just like the Cinderella story. People were expecting, oh, like when that happened yesterday, I was thinking, okay, FaZe is absolutely gonna smoke them. they're gonna 2-0 them. You know, I feel like they're gonna get a couple rounds in them, but I wouldn't expect it to go any further than that. And then when when FaZe lost yesterday, it was like, what happened?
Yep.
That story happened. So I feel like, again, the Russian teams have been doing pretty good. It's just Madison.
This is the Russian part.
I think.
Yeah.
So, I think if I go with like upset story, I feel I don't expect them to be top 4. Maybe they're gonna land, because I think this is Forza's first land. So, as plus I think Shockwave wants a revenge tour. After getting kicked off the Team Empire roster before the Pro League finals, he wants a revenge. He wants to actually show that he has the opportunity to play. He wants to shut up Team Empire and say, "Why did you drop me? I know I have," and I think it was problems with his. He was having team issues with his problems. He was not really a great teammate, but he wants to show that he's the shit again.
He's a good player. Yeah. He has a good fan base. I'm sure he can do it. No.
It's gonna be a big thing.
Yep.
So actually, we're gonna do one more thing since we got one more round.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
What player who is currently still in this, like, who's gonna have the most stock, like, you know, I'm not gonna most stock gain to be able to join some of the bigger, like, who's gonna have the most stock if free agency happen right now? Like, which player you think is under, like, will gain like a stock, will get noticed more after this tournament? From what you watched.
That's a hard one, though. Not gonna lie.
From what you watch, I'm not, you know, it might
I
be one
didn't watch
game,
a
but
whole lot.
any players, just say any, you know, any that kind of looked like, oh wow, he should be on EG, he should be on G2, you know, I got a player in mind, and we already mentioned his name.
Oh.
Merc.
Yeah, I do agree. I think he's doing very well considering everything so far. Great player. He already had the game sense. Obviously, he came from Xbox. All he had to do was transfer his aim with the MNK. He's a really good player.
Yeah, I think it was like interesting when Bola announced that roster was going to be released, and it was you know, Merc. I think I heard the name before.
Mhm.
You know, I noticed he was a Challenge League player. I was like, oh, okay, get some guy from Albaran. And that was a probably great decision on on their part to say, okay, I feel bad this guy has the opportunity to play pro league. He's better than, they replaced him with Schlongi. He's better than Schlongi. I think he can help the team a lot. He has the slaying potential. He plays that aggressive role, and he's been that top tier player for them. He hasn't had, maybe, I think he's probably had one inconsistent game. It's gonna happen at one point in the series, well, especially 3-game series. But you know, I feel like he's gonna be a kind of top tier superstar. Again, a little bit young. I think if there could be, like, he's gonna have to, if he learns, like, he has a chance of going on a top tier roster. Problem is, It's kind of hard for NA region. EG is kind of the prime example of like experience, like the olderness. If you can, um, like that EG roster kind of has a lot more experienced players. I don't think it'll fit for them. Especially
Focus too as
I guess
well.
one. Then you go Rogue, but I don't want to go Rogue is like bottom tier, and then Dark Zero.
See, Vogue is
Could
also
work.
like an older team as they had previous name changes. They've been in Pro League like for a while now. That's a
The same as
thing.
Dark
I
Zero.
personally like Rogue as well. I'm a big fan. As like back when King George was on the team.
Located a bomb.
I think Dark Zero is another experienced team, but I don't know. It's just if he can, I think he will have a big stock in that season. I think, especially, I think it's those more experienced teams, the most teams that are getting respected. Like if just say TSM just just fucking gets 7th place, like they have to go for relegations, but they make it back in. He's gonna switch teams, so he's gonna have a big upgrade if he plays at that really good pace. One more thing, kind of. Would well, since we got one more round in, what
Right.
would you think if they had a 5 game series instead of a 3 game series?
Oof. I feel as if it would be
Like just have
a
those
lot
would be
sweatier.
long.
Yeah.
Like I think that'll be a very fascinating adventure. I think. Problem is that I think the 5 game series would work. I don't think it'll work in Rainbow. I think Rainbow's too long of a game.
I
It
agree.
lasts about 30 minutes per game. It's not like Call of Duty where it's just like very quick. Um, which is just unfortunate. But I think it will work perfectly if you had like in the Pro League like the Pro League finals. I think you know just say it just like the semifinal matches you have that instead of having like a free. Also, do you think there should be double elimination? Well, it's kind of like this a little bit with how the group play is set up, but like if you go into bracket play, would you think like how would you think double elimination would kind of work? Like would it be more exciting for the public to see? Oh, I want to see Dark Zero more, but they got eliminated so early. I wish I can see them. Like especially in the Pro League finals, those are just unfortunate. Like you lose 2 maps, you're out.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Like it would definitely be like more of the fans would be like more cheering. There'd probably more, maybe more people would show up. Not really sure. Depends how if people like the idea. I. Hmm, it's a hard one, but
I
it will
think they
be
should also
game
have like
changing.
um also I think I think having well actually oh fuck what I was gonna say I think it works a lot but I think but problem is they have to have more days in and I don't think it will just turn into a long ass tournament.
Yeah,
You know the Pro League finals last 3 days already
and it's gonna be like
and they
this weekend, like starting Friday. You'll be able to get the charms and whatnot for watching like the big event.
so it's kind of really hard to it's just if it will work better if there was like a if they didn't have to get to 7 rounds. Just say they like I don't know went back to 5. Like they did this in the past. Like if you got to like what ranked is right now, you have to win 5 rounds. Yeah, you have to win like 5 rounds. Like just how ranked is the first to 4. They did that two like they did like I don't know. The only way that would work is like you have to do like 2 rounds defense, 2 rounds attack. You don't get 4 swept that early, and then you
Yeah,
just kind of do that 5 game series, and then maybe you have time for a lower bracket. But that's I don't know. It's just kind of way how long to let the game last. It was just kind of people just watch it see. It's like oh damn it, I want to see. Sucks to eliminate so early. Like you just want to see like the teams more. It's just more fortunate in the Pro League finals where you just like you lose 2 maps and you're just like, what the fuck did I just come here? Ooh, why did I come to Milan for?
yeah.
So That's gonna be the end of the show here tonight. Thank you for Nitrous for joining me on the show. We were supposed to have a different. We're not. I was thinking about having this tomorrow morning, but again, unfortunately, I didn't. The guest I was supposed to have for a different topic didn't show up. Plus, I actually did not. I was not interested in having the person into the show because I wanted someone who I wanted a person who had less of a following. I kind of want to do like unknown, like really, really unknown, like not big name people. So
Yeah, I understand.
that was
I had fun.
kind of
I think it was good. I hope we made a difference. I certainly had fun. I don't know.
you want to say any shout outs you want to say? It can be to anyone, it can be a family member, just do it anyone you want to shout out. Doesn't care what the name is.
I would have to say shout out to Ubisoft if they brought back Shake Hug, you know?
Oh, that's only one? Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very, very personal, very, very dear in the heart game shout out. So that's gonna be a stream. We don't know when the next show is gonna be, but it should be coming soon. Hopefully we get a guest. So that's gonna be it. See you guys another time. Bye.